Ladies and gentlemen, let me start by asking you a question that may shake you a little bit. Why are you trying so hard to chase something that's already been placed in your hands? See, the problem with so many of us is not that we don't have access. It's that we don't believe in the access we already have. You've been praying, you've been striving, you've been pushing, and you've been grinding. But what if the very thing you're chasing has already been assigned to you? What if the manifestation you're sweating over is not something you need to attract, but something you simply need to align with? Stop chasing what's already been given to you. Most people live their entire lives in a state of hustle and strain, thinking that the universe, God, or life itself is holding back their blessings. They wake up every day scrambling, grinding, hustling, hoping that somehow, if they work hard enough, something will appear that is already theirs. Let me tell you something that will change your perspective immediately. You already have what you're looking for. The moment you begin to see your life through that lens, everything shifts. You begin to act from a place of ownership instead of desperation. You stop begging for opportunities and start recognizing the ones that are already waiting for you. This is not about luck or chance. It's about recognition and alignment. Imagine this. If I gave you the keys to a brand new luxury car and you sat in the driveway wishing for it to move, hoping it would start, praying for it to appear in front of you, wouldn't that be absurd? Yet this is exactly what most people do with their dreams. They've been handed the keys to their promise, their purpose, and their potential, but they keep looking around, asking for validation or waiting for some magical moment to confirm that it's theirs. The truth is that manifestation is not about making something appear from thin air. It's about stepping into what is already assigned to you. The only thing standing between you and your dreams is your recognition of what is already yours. Here's the hook. The problem is not scarcity. It's belief scarcity. You can't see it because you don't believe you have it. You walk around with your hands out, asking for permission when permission has already been granted. God has already equipped you with talents, skills, ideas, and resources that can produce the life you desire. The challenge is simply to align yourself with what you already possess. Too many people think they must chase, push, or force outcomes. They exhaust themselves on tasks, on plans, on strategies, hoping the universe will finally notice their effort. But the universe doesn't reward effort alone. It responds to recognition and faith. Let me be even more practical. Look at the people who are truly successful. They don't spend all their energy asking for opportunities. They step into the opportunities that already exist around them. They recognize their access to influence, to connections, to knowledge, and to capital, and they act decisively. They know that manifestation is not about creating from nothing. It's about moving in accordance with what is already theirs. You want financial freedom? It's already coded into your design. You want influence, authority, and impact. The keys are in your hand. The question is not whether you will get it. The question is whether you will step in and claim it. Here's another hook for you. When you act, as if it's already yours, the world treats you differently. Doors that were closed start to open. People respond to your confidence. Opportunities that you once thought impossible now present themselves as normal. The universe doesn't work on timing alone, it works on alignment. Once you stop the frantic chase and start the recognition, you move from a state of anxiety to a state of authority. You begin to operate not as a beggar hoping for scraps, but as an owner walking into your inheritance. The moment you internalize this, your mindset shifts dramatically. You stop asking, why me? Or when will it happen? And start asking, how will I walk in what is already mine? You take ownership of your talents, your knowledge, your network, and your vision. You see challenges as opportunities to grow rather than obstacles to manifest. You understand that the only thing standing between you and your dreams is your own recognition. Stop chasing what's already been given to you. The keys are in your hand, the doors are already unlocked, and the promise has already been assigned. All that remains is for you to step in, claim it, and walk boldly as someone who knows their destiny is not ahead of them. It's already present. Manifestation is not about striving, it's about belief. Too many people live in constant struggle, thinking that their success depends on how much sweat they pour into their work, how long they grind, or how tirelessly they chase their goals. They wake up every day, push harder than yesterday, and believe that effort alone will create results. Let me tell you something powerful. The universe, God, and life itself respond not to your struggle, but to your faith. You could be the hardest worker in the room, but if your belief isn't aligned with your promise, your effort will only produce frustration and fatigue. Here's the hook. Working harder won't make it appear faster, but believing it's already yours will make the path clear. Think about it. Every great achievement in history started with belief before action. The inventors, entrepreneurs, and leaders who changed the world didn't begin by pushing against impossibilities. They began by seeing the possibility and believing it could be real. That belief shaped their actions, focused their energy, and attracted the right people, resources, and circumstances. Striving without belief is like rowing a boat upstream with no sense of direction. You expend energy, you get tired, but you don't move forward. Belief provides the compass, the map, and the force that channels your actions toward results that were already available to you. Here's another hook. Belief doesn't just shift your results, it shifts your energy. When you operate from a place of faith, you begin to attract opportunities effortlessly. Doors that were previously closed seem to swing open. Conversations happen at the right time, connections appear at the right moment, and circumstances align in ways that feel almost supernatural. This is not coincidence. This is the law of alignment. The universe responds to clarity and confidence comes from knowing that what you desire is already yours. You don't have to struggle to pull it closer. You have to believe and step into it. Many people get caught in the trap of visible results. They say, I'll believe it when I see it, but that's the wrong order. Belief comes first. Seeing comes second. When you reverse this, you waste years of your life chasing outcomes that were already designed to follow your faith. Here's the hook. Every success story you admire started with someone believing in something that had not yet appeared in the physical world. They aligned their mindset, actions, and energy with the promise, and the manifestation followed naturally. Let me make this practical. You want financial freedom. Start by believing it's yours, even if your bank account doesn't reflect it yet. You want influence, authority, and impact. Begin by seeing yourself as someone who already possesses those qualities. Faith is not passive, it's a strategic stance. It shapes your decisions, your conversations, and your presence in the world. People don't just see your effort, they feel your belief, and it compels them to respond. You attract what you already believe is possible, and the world bends toward those who operate in certainty rather than doubt. Here's the final hook for you. Belief is contagious. When you act like it's already yours, people stop questioning and start following. Opportunities no longer hide, they reveal themselves. Your actions, your words, and your presence all broadcast that you are aligned with your promise. Striving without belief may get you noticed, but belief with aligned action ensures you are unstoppable. You don't have to create from scratch. You simply have to recognize, trust, and move in alignment with what is already yours. Manifestation is not about effort alone. It's about operating from belief, stepping confidently into what has already been assigned to you, and letting faith guide your actions. The power is not in your struggle, it's in your certainty. Becoming the person who attracts success is the single most powerful strategy for achieving your dreams. Too many people spend their lives chasing money, chasing opportunities, chasing validation, hoping that if they work hard enough, the results will finally show up. But here's the truth. Results are not what you chase. They are a byproduct of who you have become. The world rewards value, and value is always tied to character, skill, mindset, and the impact you create. Here's the hook. If you focus on becoming someone irresistible to success, success will begin to chase you. Think about it. The most successful individuals don't wake up and beg for opportunities. They create an aura that draws them in naturally. They have cultivated skills, sharpened their mindset, and positioned themselves in a way that others cannot ignore. People want to work with them, invest in them, and support them because they recognize the value that person brings. You cannot fake this. You cannot pretend to be the person who attracts wealth, influence, and success. You have to become that person internally, spiritually, and professionally. That transformation precedes every manifestation. Here's the hook. The world doesn't reward desire, it rewards capability. You can want something all day long, but if you don't have the skills, mindset, and discipline to handle it, it won't come to you. But when you invest in yourself, developing your talents, strengthening your character, expanding your knowledge, and refining your work ethic, you become magnetic. The universe doesn't just deliver resources to random people. It delivers them to those who can receive, manage, and leverage them effectively. The person who becomes the vessel automatically attracts the abundance already waiting to be delivered. Another hook is this: your network and influence expand as you elevate your identity. When you operate from the level of someone who knows what they bring to the table, doors open without you even knocking. People respond to confidence, mastery, and clarity. They can feel it when you are someone who naturally attracts opportunity. You don't have to push. Your presence communicates readiness. Strive less to force outcomes and more to become the type of person who naturally commands them. Authority, influence, and wealth are rarely found in those who merely chase. They are drawn to those who cultivate excellence. Let me give you a practical perspective. If your goal is financial freedom, the question is not, how do I get money? But how do I become the person who naturally draws money? If your goal is leadership and influence, the question is not, how do I get people to follow me? But how do I become the person people naturally want to follow? This mindset shift is subtle but life-changing. It changes your focus from external chasing to internal upgrading. And here's the hook. When you upgrade internally, everything externally begins to upgrade automatically. You must also understand that becoming the person who attracts success requires deliberate action. It requires consistent growth, conscious learning, and daily choices that align with your vision. It's about showing up, delivering excellence, solving problems, and creating value that others cannot ignore. People will notice, doors will open, and opportunities will align perfectly, not because you begged for them, but because you became the person worthy of them. Here's the final hook. Don't wait for life to give you a reason to step into greatness. Step into greatness now. Become the individual who attracts wealth, influence, and impact effortlessly. When you do, success doesn't need to be chased. It will come to you naturally because you have become the living proof that manifestation follows the person who is ready to receive it. Your growth, your mindset, your value. They are the magnets, and the universe responds. Managing what you already have is one of the most overlooked secrets to manifestation. Too many people spend all their energy chasing what they don't have while ignoring the resources, opportunities, and talents already in their hands. Here's the hook: abundance is not about acquiring more. It's about stewarding what you already possess effectively. The ability to manage your time, your money, your skills, and your relationships is what multiplies opportunities and accelerates your success. You see, the universe, God, or life itself doesn't just hand out resources randomly. It flows toward those who demonstrate responsibility and capacity. Think about it. If you cannot handle small blessings, how can you handle great ones? If you are careless with a little, you will be careless with much. The same principle applies to money, influence, and personal growth. People who mismanage the resources they already have find themselves constantly in lack, regardless of what comes into their lives. But those who practice stewardship, discipline, and strategic management attract even greater blessings because they demonstrate readiness. Here's the hook. Management is not boring. It is the vehicle through which manifestation travels. Too many people believe that manifestation is about attracting without preparing. They chase wealth without financial literacy Chase opportunities without cultivating skills. Chase influence without building character. This is why so many dreams are never realized. You must understand that manifestation is not just about arrival. It is about capacity. You attract what you can receive, and you receive what you are ready to manage. Here's a practical example. If you suddenly acquired $1 million but had no plan to manage it, it would disappear faster than it came. The same is true for opportunities, partnerships, and success. Management ensures permanence. Another hook: when you manage well, the universe rewards you with multiplication. What you handle effectively today becomes the seed for greater results tomorrow. Managing your talents, time, relationships, and finances is not just a task, it is a form of communication to the universe that you are ready for bigger responsibilities. Every wise choice, every strategic decision, every act of stewardship signals readiness, and readiness attracts abundance naturally. People will notice your reliability, doors will open, and opportunities will flow because your actions demonstrate alignment with success. Let me give you another perspective. Many people are waiting for the right moment or the perfect opportunity to manifest their dreams, but they fail to recognize that the right moment is created by how effectively they manage what they have now. Control your schedule, control your resources, control your focus. Master the things already in your hands, and the universe will expand what you can handle. This is a principle that separates those who struggle from those who thrive. The hook here is undeniable. Readiness creates acceleration. Management also extends to your mindset and energy. You must manage your thoughts, your focus, and your emotions. Many people sabotage manifestation by allowing negativity, doubt, and distraction to govern their decisions. Stewardship of the mind is just as critical as stewardship of money. When you consciously manage your inner world, clarity, confidence, and creativity flow effortlessly, and with them come the results you seek. The people who consistently manifest the life they desire are not necessarily luckier or smarter. They are better managers of what they already have. They understand that every resource, every skill, and every relationship in their possession is a tool for greater achievement. The hook is simple but profound. Abundance does not appear, it multiplies in the hands of those who manage well. Think strategically and act decisively. When you recognize that the power to manifest exists in how you steward what is already yours, you step into authority, alignment, and unstoppable momentum. Ownership changes everything. Most people live their lives in a state of hesitation, waiting for permission, approval, or validation before they act. They ask, is this the right time? Or am I ready? The problem with that mindset is that it keeps them small, keeps them stuck, and keeps them chasing rather than receiving. Here's the hook. When you stop waiting for life to hand you permission and start acting as the owner of your dreams, everything shifts. Ownership is not just a mindset, it is an energy, a presence, and a declaration that you are ready to receive, manage, and multiply what is already yours. Think about this. People who operate from ownership don't beg for opportunities. They create them. They don't wait for affirmation. They walk boldly into their authority. Ownership forces clarity and decisiveness. When you act like what you desire is already in your possession, the universe responds to your energy. Doors that seemed closed begin to open. Conversations that never happened now take place. People and circumstances align with your level of confidence and your recognition of your authority. Here's the hook. The world responds to those who act like they already belong at the table. Many people make the mistake of treating their dreams like distant goals rather than present realities. They negotiate with life, trying to convince the universe that they deserve what has already been assigned to them. But manifestation is not about convincing. It is about claiming. Ownership is the declaration that your resources, talents, and promise are yours to steward and expand. The moment you internalize this truth, your energy changes, your decisions change, and your results change. Acting like an owner transforms you from a passive observer into an active creator of your life. Here's another hook. Ownership removes fear from the equation. When you operate as the owner of your destiny, failure is no longer intimidating. It is simply feedback. Challenges are no longer threats. They are opportunities to refine, grow, and expand your capacity. Owners don't wait for permission. They take action. Owners don't shrink from responsibility. They embrace it. And owners don't get stuck in doubt. They move decisively because they understand that what is theirs cannot be taken, only expanded. Let's get practical. If you want financial abundance, leadership, or influence, the first step is to own it internally. Speak as if it's already yours. Walk as if it's already yours. Make decisions as if you are already operating from that position of authority. The world responds to certainty, not to hesitation. The hook here is undeniable confidence without arrogance, rooted in ownership, acts as a magnet that draws resources, opportunities, and people into alignment with your promise. Ownership also demands accountability. When you claim what is yours, you take responsibility for its growth. You no longer blame circumstances, luck, or others when things don't go perfectly. Instead, you focus on your role in the process, on how to multiply what you already have, and on how to operate with integrity and strategic foresight. People who operate this way become unstoppable because they understand that manifestation flows to those who can not only receive, but also steward and expand. Another powerful hook is this: when you act like the owner, others begin to treat you differently. They see your confidence, your decisiveness, and your clarity, and they respond accordingly. Opportunities that once felt out of reach now arrive naturally. Partnerships form effortlessly. Doors that once seemed locked swing open. Ownership changes your energy, your perception, and the world's response to you. You stop chasing and start attracting because your presence signals readiness, authority, and alignment with your promise. When you fully embrace ownership, you step into the truth that your life, your success, and your destiny are already assigned to you. The key is not to wait or beg. The key is to act, manage, and expand with boldness and clarity. Ownership is the ultimate lever in manifestation. It transforms potential into reality, intention into action, and promise into abundance. Recognizing that your promise already present, is one of the most powerful shifts you can make in your life. Too many people live their entire existence waiting for something to appear, imagining that their dreams are far off in the future, just out of reach. They believe that their goals, their wealth, their success, or their influence are locked away behind a door that they must somehow force open. Here's the hook. Your dreams are not somewhere out there waiting to be delivered. They exist within you right now. The gold, the promise, and the resources you've been searching for have already been assigned to you. Your job is not to chase them, but to recognize them and step boldly into what is already yours. Think about it. Many people fail to manifest because they are looking outside of themselves instead of inside. They wait for external validation, opportunities, or circumstances to align, believing that these are the keys to success. But the truth is that the power, the ability, and the promise are already embedded in your design. They exist in your talents, your skills, your mindset, and your faith. The hook here is undeniable. Recognition precedes manifestation. You cannot attract what you refuse to acknowledge already exists. When you see your promise as present rather than distant, your energy changes, your actions change, and the universe begins to respond to your authority. Let me illustrate this with a practical perspective. Imagine you've been striving for financial freedom, tirelessly working, praying, and planning. Yet something still feels out of reach. The problem isn't the lack of opportunity, it's the lack of recognition. You have the talents, connections, and resources necessary to create that wealth. But until you internalize that it's already available to you, you will continue to strain and struggle. The hook is clear. Manifestation accelerates when you act from certainty rather than desperation. When you recognize your promise, you operate with clarity, confidence, and decisiveness, and the results follow naturally. Another hook. Manifestation is not magic, it is alignment. When you acknowledge that your promise is present, your thoughts, words, and actions align with that reality, you no longer act like a beggar hoping for scraps. You act like an owner walking boldly into your inheritance. This alignment transforms how people perceive you, how opportunities appear to you, and how resources flow into your life. You stop chasing and start attracting because your energy communicates readiness. Opportunities are no longer hidden. They are drawn to the person who can recognize and steward them. Many people sabotage their dreams because they focus on what is missing rather than what is present. They see obstacles, limitations, and challenges instead of the promise that exists within them. Here's the hook. Your future is not dependent on circumstances. It is dependent on your recognition of the resources, abilities, and blessings already assigned to you. Every skill, talent, and connection you possess is a tool to unlock your destiny. The more you acknowledge your present promise, the faster it manifests into tangible results. Let me give you another perspective. Success does not require permission, timing, or luck. It requires recognition. When you internalize the truth that your dreams are already present, you step into bold action. You make decisions with confidence. You seize opportunities without hesitation. You stop waiting for the perfect moment, and create the perfect moment by stepping into your authority. The hook here is undeniable. Recognition transforms potential into reality, and belief in what is already yours becomes the catalyst for unstoppable momentum. Recognizing your promise also changes your relationship with fear. Fear cannot dominate a person who fully understands that their destiny is already present. Challenges become lessons, setbacks become feedback, and doubt becomes fuel to grow stronger and act smarter. Every step you take from this place of recognition reinforces the truth that your promise is real, your success is inevitable, and your life is aligned with the abundance waiting for you. When you finally see that your dreams, your resources, and your destiny are already present, the entire way you operate in the world shifts. You stop chasing, stressing, and begging. You start moving with confidence, clarity, and purpose. You act decisively, manage effectively, and own boldly. Recognition is the ultimate hook that turns potential into action, intention into results, and promise into reality. When you recognize what is already yours, the universe begins to flow in your favor naturally, effortlessly, and powerfully.